Today is January 17th, 2082, and it has been for 16 years. All-powerful Chancellor Steve Harvey decreed that every day be January 17th, 2082, after he had the best birthday ever that day, his 125th birthday. January 17th, 2082 also happened to be the same day as a worldwide social media holiday, Talk Like an Englishman Day. Chancellor Harvey decreed that this day be celebrated as it was on his 125th birthday, so the world's citizens have been forced therein to talk like Englishmen until further notice, regardless of how bad their English accents are. I'm Abner Shannon, acclaimed documentarian, and I sought out to answer one question: Multiball. What is it? Why is it as popular as it is? Why does a game so encompass the human spirit? Yes, just that one question. Multiball is a sport not unlike soccer, except instead of being prohibited from touching the ball with your hands, you're prohibited from touching the ball with any part of your body. The only object that can touch the multi-ball is a small rug the size of a welcome mat. They call it the moving rug. However, the most important rule of multi-ball is this: if you are touched by the ball, you must commit suicide as quickly as possible. This is why the players are allowed to carry knives or small sharp objects on the uniforms. In fact, for every minute you continue to live, your team loses a point. There are many theories as to why this rule exists. My own is that sport is an analogy for violence, and there's no substitute for the real thing.
My name is Ashley Hansworth. I'm a historian, not by trade. I have a genuine interest in the history of multiball and what it has on the effect of this nation of the United Imperial Trump States of America. Well, the origins of multiball have to do with the honor of celebrating the deaths of the people of the September 11th attacks in 2027. It happened around the same time as the regular football season. As a matter of fact, the championship for multiball happened at the exact same time as the Super Bowl, even in the same stadium. One of the very interesting things, the first multiball team was actually the New England Patriots. Tom Brady was still playing for them at that time, and it was an awful mess because they're using the same field. And as you may not know, multiball had motorcycles used at that time, so it was an even bigger mess than you expect today. Multiball used to, I resent how less pure multiball is these days. It's increased in size, instead of just being the size of a regulation American football field, if you remember that sport. The average multiball field is now 3 square miles and involves up to 5,000 people per game. The best character I'd have to say, no doubt, had to be Shenandoah Valley Nickelmouth. He had such a character. He was basically, as we all know, he was the Babe Ruth of multiball right there. Babe Ruth, he played another sport that was, I can't be sure of the history, but I believe it was only played by homosexuals.
I caught up with Shenandoah Valley Nickelmouth, easily the most popular player in multiball's history.
Give me that meat, baby!
In fact, he's so popular, he's the only player in the history of multiball to not have to kill himself after he was touched with the ball.
Well, I'm, of course, Shenandoah Valley Nickelmouth. The player's so good that not only is my first name a nickname, but my last name's a nickname too. I was, of course, the only player ever to not be forced to commit ritual suicide after being hit with a ball. The coach stopped the game and immediately sold the team to the league. My top 5 product endorsements have been number 1, the Murder Ball. It is, of course, an at-home version of the Multiball that just does the killing right for you. It sort of eliminates the need for loss of points, which is better for the self-esteem of the whole team, so it's a better at-home version. Number 2 is Staegert, a yogurt that comes in a tube that you can also apply to bed sores. Number 3 is the skateboard with a bong in it. It's just sort of a one-stop summer shop for fun. Number 4 is more of a charity. They provide wigs made of human hair to children, but since they're children and they're more accident prone, they fuse together all of the human hair to create sort of a helmet. Number 5, of course, is Jack Link's beef jerky. Jack Link's, jerk that beef. Okay, I want to do it again. Number 5, of course, is Jack Link's beef jerky. Jack Link's, jerk that beef.
Now that I've spoken with the most popular multi-ball player in history, I deemed it fitting I speak with its most popular announcer and commentator, Monty Dew.
Well, hello. My name is Monty Dew. I've been a commentator for about 3 weeks now, the longest running commentator of the year. Most people just can't handle it. Emotionally, multi-ball is very straining. But as a young child, I was very into ritual suicide. I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. So naturally, I just grew up into multi-ball. The multi-ball culture, the suicide culture, the ball culture. Loved it. My commentating style is unique in that I truly love watching multi-ball. Whereas most commentators usually just start to cry or vomit or just a combination of the two. But me, I just love it. I love the sportsmanship, and mostly, I love when they kill themselves. Well, my favorite team to commentate for, that's a tough one. It's a toughie. It's going to be a toss-up between the Cincinnati Firestarters and also the Cleveland Racers.
Monty Dew is known not only for his commentary of the game and his clinical psychosis, he's arguably known most for his revered web series, Oopsie Daisies of the Week, cataloging botched suicides he found funny. I asked him about his favorite.
Well, we've had some really silly suicides this year. Mind me, the silliest one was Chet Checkerston. Oh, Chet Checkerston. The ball touched him, right? As it does. And get this. Okay, the ball touches him. He goes and he's saying bye to his family, right? He's saying bye to his kids. He's got 7 of them. It's hilarious. Okay. Anyways, he goes to do the seppuku, cuts off his own leg. What? He's walking around. He's hopping around, excuse me. Oh, and his kids are looking at him. His kids are looking at him the whole time. And they can't believe it. I can't believe it. I mean, personally. And finally, one of his kids comes up with a sword and just gets him right in the gut. Finishes him off. The crowd going wild. It was just... I cried. The tears. Pure joy.
You may be surprised to believe that it's not all sunshine and daisies in the multi-ball community. I was able to catch up with Carrie Underwood, the suicide coach for the University of Oklahoma Obliterators.
There's every chance your game will be the last game. There's a chance that any game will be your last game. Make sure your family and your loved ones come. And that inspires more contact and communication between families. I've seen baby mamas and baby daddies reunite and get back together thanks to multi-ball. The Obliterators have a good record, and I would say I've only seen, over the 4 seasons, I've only seen 97 young men commit suicide. Well, it's just like the strategy of the multi-ball. Concentration, speed, and accuracy. I should do SAC, say speed, accuracy, concentration. That would spell SAC. And that's a good mnemonic for these young boys. I'm gonna do
I
that.
asked Kerry Underwood if there were any boys on his team he was sad to see go. And what happened next, well...
Were there any boys on your team that you were particularly sad to see go?
Oh, well, I miss every boy I miss, and I mean that in a respectful way, not in a creepy way. But for example, Todd Jessel Smith, he was a sweet guy. I met him when he was 14, and he was selling apples on the median, and they were half-eaten apples. I mean, he was living a desperate life. And I remember I pulled over and I talked to him, and he was just like, I just need a chance. And I said, Todd Jessel, you come over to Oklahoma, the Obliterators will be your family. And he took those half-eaten apples, made a nice applesauce, brought it to the team when he was 14, and he became team manager. And he handled all the dirty towels, some blood was involved with those towels, of course. And he knew what he was facing. And his last words when he lost were, "You're not a fucking liar. You're pretty cool."
It goes further. What of the players who retired from multi-ball? You quit other sports because your body can't take it. You quit multi-ball because your mind can't. I secured an interview with barbed wire Jake Gridley, who used to play for the Kansas City Kitten Fisters.
It was my retirement game for successful 4 seasons of being the best right shift safety in the history of the sport. And we're in the final period. We're getting down to the last time on a tie fucking breaker, and O'Malley fouled. It was awful to be that close to victory. To look O'Malley in the eye and say, "What are you doing? We're losing the game. Kill yourself." Wasn't really his fault though. I don't know why he chose to use potato peeler. Hell, I don't know how he got it out on the field in his gear. But there he was, peeling away, staring at us going, "We ain't gonna lose, are we? We ain't gonna lose." That took 4 minutes. Lost too many points. Game. I have retired in disgrace. Hell, that's why my hair's gray now. Watching O'Malley peel his scrotum like a soggy wet nap.
Multi-ball. What a sport. You seen it? Wow. Now do yourself a favor. Subject, catch a multi-ball game. Then catch the multi-ball fever. Do it. It is required of you. It is a matter of law. You must obey the love of multi-ball, or else you end up just like a multi-ball loser. I'm Abner Shannon, and as always, good night, and all hail our great Lord Harvey, who I would never dream of upsetting.